Hi guys, if you're watching this, unfortunately it means I'm at home still with a sore foot, but I thought I'd give recording the screen and talking to you a go. So this is my first time using this program, so we'll see how it goes. Alright, so marketing strategies. We need to finish off the marketing strategies dot point of the syllabus. So I'm just going to scroll down to the last page that we were on, which was... We've done promotion. Alright, physical distribution issues. Let's put it into the present mode. Okie dokie. So, physical distribution issues. If we are going to choose our channel choice, we know whether we want to be intensive, selective, or exclusive. And now we've got to physically get the product from our manufacturing area to the shop. So we've got to consider things like transport, warehousing, and inventory. Okay, so obviously there can be issues with each of those things. So transport, we have to think about how long is it going to take to get from, say, the factory to the shop. And if we've got something that needs to be in a fridge or something like that, maybe it can't be out of a fridge for longer than 5 minutes, so we have to be really quick. Maybe something that's perishable so it can go off. Maybe we have to think about it can't take days and days for something to actually get to the shop because by that stage it will be off. Think about the HSC question that I showed you last lesson about the ice creams. If that was the case and we've got a gourmet ice cream company and we want it to come as a perfect product so that it's still maintaining its prestige and the gourmet status that it's got, we're really going to have to think about keeping it frozen so we don't get that half melted, half refrozen ice cream thing. If we're going to store something in transit, we need to also take into consideration how long is it going to be stored for and how long can it actually be stored for. And we also need to think about how expensive is it going to be to transport. If it's really far away, is the cost going to make it not possible to do that? Then we need to think about our warehousing. So where are we actually going to store stuff? So what are we storing is going to be the first thing that determines what we're going to do. How long do we need to keep it stored for? And what space do we actually have? Do we have a massive storeroom or do we actually only have a tiny bit of space that we can't actually hold much stock for very long? Inventory, we've looked at this before when we did operations, but we need to have enough stock coming through our distribution channels that we meet the demand. But we need to also make sure that we're not overstocking our products, that we have excess stock, particularly if it is something that is going to go off. We don't want heaps and heaps of one product that's not actually selling and then we end up having to chuck it out. So think like bakeries and stuff at the end of the day, what are they doing with their bread? Most of them have to chuck it out if it's not sold in the first day. Alright, remember we were learning about the 4 Ps and we also discussed the fact that there's 3 extra Ps these days. So we have our marketing mix, which refers to the 4 Ps, and they each have their own dot point. But then you've also got the 3 extra Ps, which feature as one dot point on the syllabus. So the dot point on the syllabus is people, process, and physical evidence. So our 5th P is people, 6th P is process, and 7th P is physical evidence and packaging. So people, it's pretty straightforward, but it's about having the right employees that actually support our company's products and services. So does the image that we want our business to have, so maybe we want a 5-star luxury business image, are the staff that we've employed actually doing and showing 5-star images? So a high level of customer service usually can help translate to a high customer satisfaction. So if we're actually really looking after our customers, they're usually going to walk away feeling satisfied with us. And obviously our people are what makes or breaks us. So we need to make sure that the people that are running our business and are the face of our business are actually matching the image that we want our business to have. Process. So process is the customer's total experience of buying a product from the initial search through to after sales experience. So it's not when you just walk into the shop and hand your money over and get your product and walk out. That's just one part of the whole process. So I've drawn this little diagram here. So you've got the red line sort of capturing the whole thing, and we've got here from the start to the finish. So for example, you've got your guys are looking at buying a new car. You go onto Google, you search for cars, you find that James Frizzell's is having a sale, and you think, yeah, I'm going to go get myself a new Mazda. You go to the Mazda car yard, you speak to a guy about the different cars, he tells you what's good and bad about different ones, what do you need, all of those kinds of things. You finally take the really nice car out for a drive, go around, you feel what it is like to drive it. That's all part of that experience. You haven't even handed any money over yet. At this point, you may be thinking, yep, this car's awesome, the salespeople are really helpful, this is a really positive experience. Or you might be thinking, this car is horrible, these people aren't helping me, and I'm not happy. And you might actually stop at that point and go elsewhere. But let's say you're happy. You actually end up, maybe you come back a couple more times, do a bit more research online, read up about it, find some reviews, all of that kind of thing. You go to the car yard again, you hand over your money, you purchase the car. You drive the car around, it still hasn't even stopped there. It's even like when you go to get your car serviced. It's all of that. So right through that whole thing is the customer's total experience or the process. So it's really important for a business not to just make sure this purchase experience is positive. It's capturing people, even if they're just looking, to be really good to them so that maybe it will convert to a sale. It might not convert to a sale the first time. Maybe they look around, they buy something different the first time, but in the back of their mind, they're still thinking about you, and next time they need a product that you sell, they might come back, particularly if they get to this part of a bad experience with another business and they don't want to come back. They might start thinking about other alternative people and they might come to you. So we just really need to understand that a customer's experience is not isolated to the purchase. It can be from the minute they start thinking about buying something all the way through to after. Imagine if you bought a new TV and within 30 days it breaks and you contact someone for help. It could be really positive and they replace the broken TV, or it could be really negative and you end up really sour that your product broke and it's been a terrible experience for you. So I think that one's pretty straightforward. You might like to think about, have you ever had an experience like that? I know for me, when I was your age looking for a formal dress, I started in the shop looking for a dress and the lady totally wrote me off as not having enough money to buy the dress, and it was a horrible experience. So that was the end for me for that experience, and I did not want to go back and actually make a purchase with her. All right. Next one, physical evidence. So we have to think about the actual product. How does it look? Okay, so every aspect of the presentation to the customer. So we need to think about the size of our product, the shape, the color, what material is it going to be, what's the label of the packaging going to be like, okay? Think about it. Have you ever received a present and just been so excited because the wrapping looks amazing and you've got, you know, a really pretty bow on the top, or, you know, some really fresh, nice, colorful paper or something like that? Or do you get the really dodgy paper and the sticky tape all over it, like they've just kind of stuck it on really rushed and no effort, no love? What is your opinion going to be of the two? This one you're going to think, wow, that's really cool. This one you might think, not so sure what's inside. Even though there might be the same thing inside, this is really going to persuade your opinion of the product inside. Think about it this way, from a real product, we've got home brand Fruity Rings and we've got Kellogg's Fruit Loops. You can see very generic, says what it needs to say, but it's not really all that eye-catching. Imagine if you're like a 5-year-old kid walking down the cereal aisle, which one is going to capture your interest more quickly? It's probably going to be our Fruit Loops with the nice, friendly toucans smiling at you and the bold writing, and that the fact that there's a movie giveaway, that's another side promotion on the box. All of those things, most people are probably going to be attracted at least to this box over the Fruity Rings over here with the very generic packaging. That's before we've even really considered the product's quality and all of that jazz. So you can see how critical it can be, the physical packaging of the product and what influence that can have. Now, if you've read your textbook, you might have also read about, well, that's all good for a product that's actually tangible, but what about a product that's intangible? And if we are a service business, that's the case. We're going to be intangible. So we need to think about it. When we're a service business, we're not going to be thinking, oh, that's a really nice looking massage, are we? But the people that are serving us and that kind of thing are, I guess, the physical evidence of a service business. So I actually did a Google search of a nice dressed corporate man, and we got this male model pinup guy. So you can see he's got a really slick suit on. He's looking like he's well dressed, well presented. If we were doing business with, say, let's go with a bank, being a service industry, this guy's offering us a home loan, we're going to probably perceive him as knowing what he's doing, well dressed, efficient worker, that kind of thing. If we got this guy here on the right serving us, can't tuck his shirt in, doesn't know how to tie a tie, bit dowdy, bit daggy looking, we may start to doubt his ability, we might not trust him as much, okay? So when we're a service-based industry, the physical evidence could be as simple as the way our employees are dressed. Does that align with our image that we want our business to portray? So if we're trying to go for 5-star, high customer service, good image, and this guy is our front guy, are we actually really achieving that? Probably not. So this is why a person could become the physical evidence of your business if your actual product is not like the Fruit Loop box that you can manipulate the packaging to make it look good. Alright, e-marketing. This is obviously growing as our tech gets better and better. E-marketing is growing, and as I mentioned last lesson, our textbook is probably a little bit behind because it was printed 10 years ago, and in that 10 years so much has happened. But e-marketing is basically your internet marketing, and technology has enabled businesses to interact with customers in a manner that has not been seen before. Think, if you're on your screen on your device, you can be interacting with a business like instantly. So it enables a personalized marketing, it enables sales growth, and it also helps with brand awareness. And it is the fastest growing sales medium in Australia. I just want you to take a couple of minutes to think about what examples of e-marketing can you think of? And also think about, have you received any marketing or promotional emails before, and what were they? What did they do? Was it telling you about a sale? How frequent are they? I mean, I know I've subscribed to some things and it's like 3 times a day I'm getting an email from them, and it gets a bit frustrating. So I want you to just have a think about all of that. Is there good things about it? Are some of them actually being detrimental to themselves? Like, are you ignoring them more now that you're getting too many emails from them? That kind of thing. And just quickly jot down your ideas. Okay, so our next big dot point is global marketing. So I'm just going to stop the video here and save what we've got so far in case the rest of it doesn't work, and maybe try and do another video for global marketing for you.